Welcome back, everyone. This is Quest for You, and it is episode 182, Being High Value. Yesterday we talked about high and low social values, and I strongly encourage you, if you have not listened to that episode, do it before or right after this one, because both tie together. Yesterday we focused on the needs that drive our social behaviors. They are attention, approval, and acceptance. And as social animals, we want to belong and fit in. However, in order to accomplish this, we often resort to low social behaviors. Maybe because we don't know any better, or because certain behaviors worked for us in the past. Sometimes we may have come from a place of high value, only to find out that other people abused it, took advantage of us, and as a result, we changed. We become jaded and bitter, and possibly less willing to reflect on our conduct. And then this shows in behaviors that are begging, combative, and competitive. We covered these yesterday. Today, I want to focus on the one skill that is extremely effective in uplifting your value from low to high. And that is being cooperative. In contrast to the first three behaviors, which are all focused on obtaining attention from others by some force, being cooperative generates attention through giving first. Giving is not always easy. It requires some vulnerability on your part, and it requires effort. But I strongly believe that if you want to build quality relationships with others, you have to start with you. Instead of agonizing over others' reactions, you begin working on yourself. Like attracts like. If you're unwilling to change your low social value behaviors, you're unlikely to bring people with high value behaviors into your life. So to begin cultivating more high value relationships, you begin focusing on yourself. Instead of taking from others by begging, fighting, or competing, you direct your attention to giving. When you begin to give, your relationships will turn from a one-sided push or pull to a mutual interaction through cooperation. You'll see the results when you begin to connect with amazing people that set an example with behaviors that you admire instead of behaviors that bring you down. So how can you be more giving and achieve this cooperation with your friends and partner? It starts with investing into these relationships by putting the people that matter to you first. And this applies to your existing relationships, but also the ones that you're still growing, and especially those. I met a few new people through my meetup last year, and now, after a few months, some of these acquaintances are turning into friendships. This didn't happen overnight. It also didn't happen because I sat at home waiting for them to initiate things. I put work into them. I set up coffee meetings. I went to events that they suggested, not because I was thrilled about the event, but because I wanted to build a relationship with the people. It starts with you. One recommendation is this: give yourself a quick check. Where are you with your behaviors? You can do this fairly quickly by looking at your social media activity. We all like to get the likes, the thumbs up, and the new followers. That's part of that attention need that we're looking to fill. But to what extent are you just taking value versus also giving some value to others? Do you just look to see how many likes your picture got? Or do you also contribute by spreading positivity when you see others' pictures and comments? You can also get a good idea of what others are like by looking at their social media activity. Is the person that constantly bashes others and complains about things really someone you want to hang out with? Let's look at some of the cooperative behaviors that you can work on, and it will help you attract high-value people into your life. Because not having these skills will not bring them towards you. They will actually run away. Just like the potential partner that is trying to get your attention via the wrong ways. Begging, being combative, or competitive. Remember that as we go through this, kindness develops trust, influence, and it builds rapport. So you can start by being generous with your time. This is especially the case when you're trying to form new relationships. You heard my example. Sometimes this will require you attend events that you're not necessarily interested in, or time that you spend that you really don't have. But it's not just your time. Be also generous with your knowledge. Share what you know and offer your help. This builds the trust and fosters the influence that you are looking for. The people you are sharing yourself with may not become long-term friends, but they will acknowledge you, and they may even open doors for you that you don't even know about at the moment. So don't judge people right away. My meetup group couldn't be more diverse, yet all of the people in that group have something special to offer, and I have learned and become a better person because of each one of them. Give value. This builds on the generosity part. Showing up is step 1, but give more than that. Give the most valuable thing that you have, and that is your attention. In these times when everyone and everything is vying for our attention has become a valuable commodity. So get off email and actually go and meet the person. Put your phone away and give your undivided attention. Be that engaged listeners who pays attention and asks meaningful questions. That will send a signal that you truly care. Even if you are with a group of people that have so much more knowledge than you in a specific area, I always just listen. Don't worry about having input or giving advice. Just be present. This allows people to feel good when they're with you, because they feel they matter to you. Acknowledgement. It's so simple, and it takes very little time, but it can mean the world to someone and build a true connection. Just acknowledge the other person. Give a genuine compliment or show your appreciation in some form. When someone made a big effort and you notice it, say something. Too often we notice it, but we don't do anything about it. The other day I was heating up my lunch at work, and another coworker was preparing a really delicious salad, healthy and nutritious. I complimented her on this effort, and she opened up about her health, the issues that she had and how she's trying to get better by eating better. We had this really long conversation, and I now feel I have a shared connection with this person that I previously didn't have. I acknowledged her effort and I gave her some tips on the foods that might be good for her. So try and celebrate effort and energy. All it requires is a conscious decision on your part to give a little. Instead of being jealous that your coworker lost a bunch of weight, like so often happens, tell her and congratulate her. Celebrate when someone exhibits a high-value behavior, an effective conflict resolution, a well-run meeting, or your partner that is trying to improve things around the house. Form the compliment around something that you also value. These don't have to be just a bunch of results. Effort counts as well. Remember, people with low-value behaviors prefer to compete instead of celebrate. So make sure you're not one of those people, and you acknowledge the success of others. And if you are the first person to act by saying something, then it sends an even stronger signal to your other friends and coworkers. And then there's responsibility. We talked about responsibility yesterday. It always is very easy to spot low-value behavior when someone shirks responsibility. Instead of picking up the trash in their path, these people complain about how dirty it is. High-value people go out of their way to take responsibility. That way they know they can take some control of the situation. These people step up. They raise their hand, they volunteer, and they sit in the first row. Responsibility is taking ownership of your actions and your inactions. It means admitting you did wrong and facing the consequences. That means also making the best out of every situation instead of judging it. Instead of whining and complaining, this place sucks, it's dead, the food is bad, and so on, you find something worthwhile in the experience. You remain positive and open-minded, and you give people around you an opportunity to surprise you. Or you change the situation by taking ownership. And lastly, a key value behavior that goes right along with responsibility is honesty. Relationships are about trust and honesty, and not about deceiving, cheating, and lying. If you cannot be honest with your friends, then that's an issue. High-value people usually can handle a frank and honest conversation. Honesty is a direct way to make things better. And it allows for growth, your own and that of your team. If you manage people at work and foster an environment of honesty, you'll notice that people will feel more comfortable to speak up about issues. When people feel treated unfairly and don't receive open and honest communication, morale usually tanks. So honesty is very important for effective collaboration with others, at home and at work. So what I always find is that when I give value, it creates good feelings in others. You see it when someone smiles after you give them a compliment. It makes people feel good. And when people feel good, they will come back for more. And this in turn will make you feel good. And this is why giving is so important. Fostering high-value skills will take time and effort. By default, we are not inclined to give. We prefer to wait for the other person to take a step. We are risk-averse, and so we want to protect ourselves. So I know that making the first move is hard. Smiling at a stranger with that serious look, offering to help the person that just looks a little weird, initiating a conversation with the person on the plane next to you, reaching out to your friend with an idea for a get-together, offering your expertise to a business colleague or a professional acquaintance that you meet. Taking the first step and giving is not easy, but the value you give comes back. The attention, the recognition, the time and the effort, it pays off in the long run. I've found that over and over again. Just don't plan on it. Don't go in it with expectations to get a quick return on your investment. Things take time. And if you're worried about others abusing your kindness and generosity, I can tell you from my own experience. Raising your value, you will attract a higher value set of people into your life, but you will also attract a few low-value people. It happens to me all the time. You're nice to people, so this attracts them to you. But as you raise your standards, as you're making an effort to be more honest, take more responsibility, and give more value, you are becoming more capable to clearly see other people's values and intentions. And if you find yourself surrounded by people that want to take advantage of you, you'll easily take notice, and you will not continue the contact with them. It often happens when you're single and you're trying to find a partner. You become clearer on the characteristics that are important to you and in the other person that you're looking to be with. And you're less willing to put up with low-value behaviors. Plus, you'll be less blinded by pure physical attraction, and you focus on behaviors and traits that matter to you. So giving value first pays off. The me against the world mindset will only lead to dead-end roads. In fact, it may lead to loneliness, depression, and bad decisions, addictions, and other short-term gratifications. It's an excuse for not wanting to make a little bit of an effort to work on yourself. I encourage you, try it out. Look for the opportunities in your day where you can give a little bit, maybe at work or at home, simply by assuming some good in people, collaborating with them. And as you gain more awareness of the people in your life that might be low value, then take the necessary steps. Step out of your comfort zone and make room for the high value people you want in your life. And remember, you will attract them. So don't be afraid to let go of the low value people. Other, better people will come along. I want to end with this quote by Adam Grant from his book Give and Take. This is what I find most magnetic about successful givers. They get to the top without cutting others down, finding ways of expanding the pie that benefit themselves and the people around them. Whereas success is a zero sum in a group of takers, in groups of givers, It may be true that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Much love, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.